You may think that stroke is a disease that only affects the elderly, but the truth is far more alarming. Stroke can strike anyone, at any time, and in any place. It does not wait until retirement age. It does not spare those who are in the middle of their careers or busy caring for their families. Every year, thousands of people under 60 are struck down, leaving them disabled or even dead in the prime of their lives. I have seen patients who just hours before were working and driving or enjoying dinner with their loved ones, suddenly unable to speak, move, or even recognize their family. That is the terrifying reality of stroke. Yet, what makes it even more tragic is that so much of this suffering can be prevented. 4 critical facts about stroke can literally mean the difference between life, independence, or lifelong disability. Knowing them can help you act quickly, protect your brain, and even save the life of someone you love. In this video, I will reveal these 4 truths: why stroke can affect anyone at any age, how to recognize the signs immediately using FAST, why every single minute matters, and finally, how most strokes can actually be prevented with the right choices. Before we dive in, if you have not subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 so I know how to make better content for you. Part 1. Stroke can affect anyone at any age. The first fact that you must never ignore is that stroke is not just a disease of old age. It can strike anyone, even people in their 40s, 50s, or younger, who believe they are too healthy or too busy to worry about it. In many parts of the world, stroke is on the rise among adults in midlife, and 1 in 4 cases now occurs in people under 60. These are not just statistics. They represent real lives. People at the peak of their careers, raising families, and contributing actively to society, suddenly losing the ability to walk, speak, or care for themselves. The misconception that stroke only affects seniors is dangerous because it makes younger adults ignore warning signs. Headaches, dizziness, or slurred speech are dismissed as stress or fatigue until the moment of collapse arrives. The biological truth is that stroke happens when the blood supply to the brain is disrupted, either by a clot blocking an artery or a vessel bursting and causing bleeding. These events can occur at any age if the conditions are right. High blood pressure, smoking, obesity, diabetes, and high cholesterol do not discriminate by age. And these risk factors are now appearing earlier in life because of lifestyle changes. I have treated patients in their 40s who believed they were too young for stroke, only to find themselves suddenly unable to move one side of their body. The shock is devastating, not just for the patient, but also for their family, who must suddenly become caregivers. The truth is that youth does not guarantee protection. Even young adults in their 20s or 30s can suffer stroke, often due to congenital heart problems, blood vessel malformations, or lifestyle factors like smoking and drug use. Every brain is vulnerable if its blood supply is interrupted. This is why awareness must begin early. Everyone, not just the elderly, must understand what stroke is and how it can appear without warning. Once you realize that stroke can affect anyone, you will be more prepared to act quickly and protect yourself or a loved one. If this reality has surprised you, wait until you hear about the next fact, where I will show you how to recognize the signs immediately and remember the simple rule: FAST, that could save a life. Part 2. Act fast. Know the signs and what to do. The second fact that you must know is how to recognize a stroke immediately. Because every minute counts. Stroke attacks the brain suddenly, and the signs can be subtle at first. Too often families mistake them for tiredness, low blood sugar, or even drunkenness. And by the time they realize the truth, the brain has already suffered irreversible damage. That is why doctors around the world use a simple tool called FAST to help everyone remember the key warning signs. FAST stands for face, arm, speech, and time. The first clue is the face. Ask the person to smile. If one side of the face droops or does not move, that is a strong warning. The second is the arm. Ask them to raise both arms. If one arm drifts downward or they cannot lift it, that is another red flag. The third is speech. Ask them to repeat a simple sentence. If their words are slurred, garbled, or they cannot speak at all, the danger is real. And finally, the T stands for time. If you see any of these signs, even just one, it is time to call emergency services immediately. In places like Singapore, that means dialing 995. In the United States, it is 911. Do not wait. Do not try to drive them to the hospital yourself. Call for help so trained responders can begin life-saving measures right away. I have seen patients whose families acted fast recover with little or no disability. And I have seen those who waited just a few hours left unable to walk, speak, or even breathe on their own. The difference was not the severity of the stroke, but the speed of the response. Stroke does not give you a second chance. Recognizing fast is your first line of defense. Share this knowledge with your children, your spouse, and your coworkers. Because stroke can strike at any time and place. If this has opened your eyes, wait until you hear about the next fact, where I will explain why every minute matters and how delays destroy millions of brain cells that can never be replaced. Part 3. Time matters. The third fact you must never forget is that when it comes to stroke, time is brain. Every minute that passes while a stroke blocks blood flow to the brain, nearly 2 million brain cells die. These cells do not regenerate. They are lost forever, and with them go vital functions like speech, movement, memory, or vision. That is why time is the single most important factor in determining whether a patient recovers or lives with permanent disability. Treatments do exist, but they are extremely time-sensitive. For ischemic strokes caused by blood clots, clot-busting medication can dissolve the obstruction and restore blood flow, but it must be given within a narrow window. Usually, no more than 4.5 hours from the onset of symptoms. Mechanical thrombectomy, a procedure where doctors physically remove a large clot from a brain artery, can extend this window in certain cases. But even then, earlier is always better. For hemorrhagic strokes, where a vessel bursts and bleeds into the brain, immediate action to control blood pressure and stop bleeding can mean the difference between life and death. The tragedy is that many patients arrive at the hospital too late. Families hesitate, hoping the symptoms will pass. Patients convince themselves it is just stress or fatigue. Hours are lost, and with them, the chance of recovery. I have seen patients brought to the hospital within minutes walk out with minimal deficits, and I have seen others arrive after half a day unable to move or speak again for the rest of their lives. The science is clear. The faster you act, the better the outcome. Even a delay of 30 minutes can significantly reduce the effectiveness of treatment. This is why public health campaigns around the world repeat the phrase, "Time is brain." It is not a slogan. It is a biological fact. Every minute of hesitation is a minute of irreversible brain damage. Families must understand that stroke is a medical emergency, not something to watch and wait. The moment you recognize signs, call for emergency help. Do not delay for any reason. The ambulance ride and rapid hospital care are what save lives. If this urgency has made you realize the true danger of waiting, wait until you hear about the final fact, where I will explain how most strokes can actually be prevented with choices you make every day. Part 4. Most strokes can be prevented. The fourth fact, and perhaps the most empowering, is that the majority of strokes can be prevented, while age is a risk factor that no one can change. Nearly 4 out of 5 strokes are linked to conditions and habits that can be controlled. That means most strokes do not have to happen at all if the right steps are taken. High blood pressure is the single most important risk factor. Uncontrolled hypertension silently damages blood vessels over years, making them stiff, fragile, and prone to clotting or rupture. Keeping blood pressure in a healthy range through regular monitoring, medication if prescribed, and lifestyle changes such as reducing salt intake can dramatically lower stroke risk. High cholesterol is another silent danger. Excess fat and plaque build up in arteries, narrow the blood supply, and create the conditions for clots to form. A balanced diet rich in vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and healthy fats helps maintain cleaner arteries, while limiting processed foods and trans fats reduces damage. Smoking is one of the most preventable yet deadly contributors to stroke. It accelerates vessel damage, raises blood pressure, and thickens the blood, all of which increase the risk of both clotting and bleeding strokes. Quitting smoking at any age immediately begins to repair the body, and it is never too late to stop. Diabetes, obesity, and sedentary lifestyle are also major players. High blood sugar damages vessels. Excess weight strains the heart. And inactivity allows blood pressure and cholesterol to rise unchecked. Yet just 30 minutes of moderate exercise most days of the week improves circulation, strengthens the heart, and lowers risk. Even small steps like walking after meals or taking the stairs can add up to protection. Alcohol consumption and stress management must also be considered. Heavy drinking increases blood pressure and weakens the heart, while chronic stress elevates hormones that strain the cardiovascular system. Moderation in alcohol and healthier stress coping methods such as relaxation exercises, meditation, or simply adequate sleep can protect the brain. For those with a family history or prior mini strokes, regular medical checkups are essential. Screening for atrial fibrillation, a heart rhythm disorder that causes clots to form, is crucial, as untreated atrial fibrillation is a leading cause of stroke. The good news is that medication and lifestyle changes can control these risks and prevent devastating outcomes. Prevention is not complicated, but it requires awareness and action. Stroke does not strike out of nowhere. It builds silently over years through choices and neglected health. By making different choices today, you can dramatically reduce your chances of ever experiencing it. If this truth has given you hope, stay with me for the conclusion, where I will bring all 4 facts together and remind you that while stroke is sudden and frightening, it is also preventable, treatable, and survivable when we act with knowledge and urgency. Conclusion: 4 stroke facts that can save your life. We have now reached the conclusion, and it is time to bring these 4 facts together because they are more than just medical lessons. They are truths that can save lives. The first fact is that stroke can affect anyone at any age. Too many people believe it is a disease reserved for the elderly, and that false sense of security is deadly. The reality is that stroke is striking more people in their 40s and 50s, right when careers and families are at their peak. Awareness must start early because no one is immune. The second fact is the power of acting fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech problems, and time to call for help are not just letters. They are the difference between survival and lifelong disability. If you recognize these signs and act immediately, you give doctors the chance to save brain cells, restore function, and preserve independence. The third fact is that time matters. Every minute a stroke goes untreated, millions of neurons die. Once they are gone, they never come back. I cannot stress this enough. Time is brain. Delays in seeking help close the window for clot-busting medications and life-saving procedures. The patients who arrive early walk out, while those who wait may never walk again. The fourth fact is the most hopeful, that most strokes can be prevented by controlling blood pressure, managing cholesterol and diabetes, quitting smoking, staying active, and eating wisely. You can eliminate the majority of the risk. Prevention is not complicated. It is built from daily choices and regular checkups. This is the truth that should empower you. Stroke does not have to be your fate. These 4 facts, if remembered and applied, mean that you and your loved ones can live longer, healthier, and more independent lives. Your body still remembers how to heal, and your brain, when protected, still holds the power to thrive. As we finish, I want you to reflect. Which of these facts surprised you the most? And which one will you act on today? Share your answer in the comments. Type 1 if this video has given you knowledge you will use, or type 0 if you want me to improve. Share this with someone you love, because the life you save might be theirs. And do not forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss another health tip made just for you.